Hi, it's Brian again, back with another Rocky Linux tutorial. Today, we will be mastering 4 Linux commands to help you navigate around the terminal. The terminal, also known as the command line or the shell, is a powerful tool that allows you to interact with the Linux system in a text-based environment. It can be used to do all sorts of things like navigating your file system, running programs, or managing system settings. It can be a bit daunting at first, but I promise you it's easy to use once you get the hang of it. Let's begin our journey by discussing the 4 commands we will learn today. We'll start this list off with the cd commands, also known as change directory. These commands are used to navigate between directories within the terminal, with cd used to change to a specific directory, while cd space period period is used to navigate up to the parent directory. With these commands, you're basically changing your position from one location to another. This is crucial for accessing different directories, organizing files, and executing commands in specific locations. It's a foundational command that is used extensively in day-to-day operations. Moving forward with the next command, ls, also known as list. It's used to display a list of contents of the directory you're working in. This helps us view and verify the contents of the current directory, ensuring you have an overview of what files and subdirectories are present. And finally, we have pwd, short for print working directory. This command displays the absolute path of the current working directory, and it can be helpful when we need to know the exact location we're working in, or need to reference the current directory in a script or command. Now before we start, I have a final note to say. Linux is a case-sensitive system, which means it distinguishes between uppercase and lowercase characters when it comes to file, directory, and command names. For example, file.txt with a lowercase f and file.txt with a capital F would be considered as 2 separate files in a Linux system. Now with the introductions out the way, let's start using these commands. Alright, if you haven't already, boot up your Linux machines and open up terminal. Now the first command we'll cover first is pwd, which is print working directory. What this command will do is it will print out our absolute path of our current working directory, or in other words, it prints out our current location within the terminal. Knowing this command first will help you gain awareness of your current position, which is crucial for executing commands and performing actions in the correct context. So type in pwd and hit enter. Here, the command prints out the absolute path, which is /home/Brian. This is telling us our current location in the terminal, and that I'm in the Brian directory. So imagine this, you're in New York City and have no idea where you're located. It will make sense to use a GPS to tell you your current location. In this scenario, the terminal, being New York City, and pwd is the GPS. So if you're ever lost in the terminal and want to know your exact location, use pwd. That's your GPS system here. And here we are, our current location. Now, let's say we want to know the contents within our current directory. This is where ls comes in, also known as list. Using New York City as an analogy again, imagine walking down the street in New York City. Surrounded by buildings, you want to get an idea of what's happening around you. You might take a moment to look around and create a mental list of all shops, restaurants, and other points of interest. Executing ls serves a similar purpose. When you type in ls and hit enter, it will display a list of all files and folders, directories present in your current location, giving you an overview of what exists in that directory, just like scanning New York City. And here we see ls displaying the folders of Brian. We have desktop, documents, downloads, etc. So to recap, just remember, in the terminal, pwd prints out your current location, and ls displays all files, folders, and or directories in that same location. So now you know how to locate yourself and list the surroundings of your environment. It's time to learn the commands that will help you transfer from one directory to another. In New York City, you have various neighborhoods like Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. When you move to one neighborhood to another, you need to know the name of the neighborhood and how to get there. The cd command allows you to change your current location within the terminal and move from one directory to another. To use the cd command, type in cd and the directory you want to navigate in. For demonstration purposes, we'll navigate to desktop. So type in desktop and hit enter. And now we're in desktop. And we can confirm this by looking at this little box here next to our username and host name. Our directory is printed right next to them here. Another way we can confirm our location or that we're in desktop is simply by using pwd. And here we are, we're in /home/Brian/desktop. Now, I want to note something. It's imperative to know that the Linux operating system is a case-sensitive system. And that's because it follows a design choice that allows for greater flexibility and compatibility with various file systems. So let's go back a directory real quick. If we were to type in desktop with a lowercase d, cd, desktop with a lowercase d, and hit enter, Linux prints out an error because in the eyes of Linux, desktop with a lowercase d does not exist in our current directory. This rule applies to commands as well. If I type in all caps cd along with desktop with a capital D and hit enter, we'll receive an error again. And that's because all caps cd command does not exist in the eyes of Linux. So remember, type in the correct command, file, folder, or directory, character by character. Otherwise, you will receive an error, go to the wrong location, or even execute the wrong command. So let's go back to desktop. Moving on to our final command, not too long ago, I demonstrated this command briefly, and its function is the complete opposite of the cd command. And that command is cd space period period. The cd command, as we discussed earlier, allows us to navigate to a specific directory. However, sometimes we want to go back. We might want to go back to the previous directory or move up one level in the directory hierarchy. By typing cd space period period and pressing enter, it'll take you back to the parent directory. So here I just showed you I was just in desktop. Now if I were to type in pwd, I should be back to Brian. And here we are, /home/Brian. So another way to look at this is if you want to move forward, type in, well, let's list our environment. Now let's go to documents. So type in cd documents. Okay, we're in documents, and we can confirm that by hitting pwd. And here we have confirmation that we're in documents. Now I want to go back to the Brian directory. So go ahead, hit cd space period period. And I also want to note that this squiggly line represents your username, which is in this case Brian. So let's go ahead and type in pwd, and here we are, we're in Brian. And that concludes this tutorial. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to post them in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, consider dropping a like and subscribe, as I'll be producing more content weekly. Thank you for watching and have a great day.